don't know how people can be so skeptical about the paranormal. Because, I mean, you got paranormal history and stories dating all the way back to, like, ancient Egypt. And then you got paranormal experiences dating all the way back then to now. And, like, the first documented one was, like, during the Greek era.
I mean, you also have evidence, too, but you still have skeptics.
Yeah, you got video evidence, but then they just believe that it's
fake.
It's faked. I mean, half the time you can put them in a super haunted place and they're gonna figure out a reason why it wasn't paranormal. It was logical. It was explainable.
I mean, but I think it takes people to actually firsthand experience something, other than like a scary place.
I think even if you put them in a place like Waverly Hills, which is our haunted place of the week, and everything happens to them, as far as a attachment, them getting scratched, them having an apparition appear in front of their face like we did, like on Dixie Highway in that investigation at that cemetery. I still feel like they're going to stay skeptical. You just can't change their minds.
I mean, some
just
people...
got to let them come over to the dark side on their own.
I mean, some people you can't change.
I can't fathom how you can give them so much evidence and proof, and it date back all the way to ancient Egypt, and they still want to try to contradict everything. And
I mean, but we do that about some things too.
I mean, yeah.
I think just sometimes people are stuck in their ways and their beliefs, and some people don't even believe in the paranormal. They always just have to find another reason why that happened.
I mean, well, I guess we'll move on to our haunted place of the week, which is going to be Waverly Hills Sanatorium.
Which is right down the road.
And this is Geeked Up Paranormal Podcast. I'm Brandon.
Brianna.
Let's get into Waverly Hills. So what notes do you have on Waverly? What's the history of the place?
Well, shit.
So I know before it became the sanatorium, a general, right?
Yep.
Turned it in. It was a school first. He made a school for his kid.
Yeah.
Because school was so far away.
Mm-hmm. They made a one-room school for his kid and the teacher, which I can't. I should have organized this better.
The teacher.
Miss Lena Williams. That was wrong. Cut that.
No cuts on this podcast.
That was cut.
No cuts.
I can't find it, actually. I could have swore I had it.
So...
But I probably just read it.
The teacher pretty much gave the name Waverly Hills to that school due to a series of books that she liked.
Yes, which is a fun fact, I guess you'd say, is Waverly had 2 E's in it, but along the way it dropped one of the E's, and they don't really know why.
Probably, I would say the hospital.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could.
I bet you that's when it dropped. It was when Waverly Hills Sanatorium came about. Was there anything else other, as far as we know?
Before it was Waverly?
Before it was Waverly Hills Sanatorium?
No.
And after the school?
No, it went from the school to Waverly, and then to the asylum, and then to what it is now.
So after the TB hospital, it went to a mental ward.
Yeah, so the Waverly itself as the hospital closed in 1961. Then it was abandoned for a little while, but not long. And then it went into being an asylum.
And about 8,000 people died to TB.
But they tried to say 100,000. But
Probably to rack up that money, like hospitals are now, with the coronavirus.
But as far as like death records and stuff that is documented, it's only 8,000.
So 8,000 deaths, and some of these deaths are due to like
Suicides, or is that what you're talking about?
well, not suicides, like malpractice, I guess, if that's how you say it. Pretty much where doctors didn't really know what this disease was, and they tried to treat it the way that they thought would cure it, as far as breaking ribs, taking out a full lung, parts of the lung, blowing a balloon up in the lung.
Also sandbags. They put sandbags where the lungs were supposed to be.
Yeah, and then I've heard also they've done electroshock therapy there.
But that was when it was the asylum. That's how they...
I've heard it was even, they even did a little bit of it when it was a TB hospital.
Well, you gotta think though, it was new, so everything was experimental. They didn't really know what they was doing. But also, other parts of the treatment was lots of sun, a better diet, vitamins.
Yeah.
I think the TB hospital had a total of 5 sunrooms on each floor that all the patients would go to and sit in there for hours. But also, a lot of the deaths too were the patients that were there for TB, their kids were also in the children's wing. And it wasn't even sick. It was pretty much, since your parents are here, you're going to be here.
Yeah.
And then they ended up getting it too.
And then we had 2 nurses that died there.
Yeah, both attached to room 502.
Yeah, one got pregnant, and the doctor didn't want the baby that she got.
No, she was just pregnant out of wedlock, which was
with the doctor.
I don't know. I don't know.
From what I've heard, it was with the doctor that worked there, that was already married, and he didn't want the child, and so she jumped out of off the roof.
Yeah. But she was the nurse for 502.
502. And then you had another nurse that hung herself in 502 or outside the room of 502.
No, it was in it. It was from the light fixture.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah, I got that right here.
Do we know why she hung herself?
Well, this one says. So this is just what I have on here. Despite. Room 502 seemed to invite sadness. According to local legend, the head nurse of room 502 was found hanging from the light fixture. This was believed to be suicide triggered by depression over an unwanted pregnancy. So they kind of
she hung herself.
I'm getting mixed on the two nurses.
So I know from what I was told, there's 2 nurses. One jumped from 502, but then they're saying she jumped from the roof.
Yeah.
But that's documented. And then there was a nurse that hung herself.
Well,
from when growing up, I was told that the nurse that hung herself was the one that was pregnant. But
which is what I have.
We got so much mixed information of which nurse was pregnant, and I think that was due to so many people telling the story over time and it getting mixed up and mingled. Especially since you had 2 nurses, pretty much. With 502, they're both connected to 502.
I think stories are getting crossed.
Yeah,
honestly, because right below it, I have another nurse who also worked 502, jumped off the roof to her death.
Yeah,
but it says who might have done it and why are unknown. So,
and that leads to another thing. A local legend is that room 502. You'll see it like go from dark to a light color, like red light, and it'll get real hot in 502, and that people see an apparition of a nurse jumping from room 502 to her death.
So see.
Then there's also from me growing up, from hearing stories from pretty much our elders. Mm-hmm. And they've seen a apparition of a nurse hanging herself in front of 502 or in 502, and like the room went from super cold to super hot, to super cold to super hot, back and forth.
Well, and you also have people,
in the summer or in the winter.
Yeah, and supposedly that's one of the main rooms you get activity in.
Yeah, I know.
So that makes me wonder, though, like, did the room have something before all this started? You know what I'm saying? Like a sadness or a darkness to cause these nurses to do that? Or did it just did it develop over time? You know what I'm saying?
True.
Because something could cause the nurses to act this way.
Yeah, like I wonder if even the land, maybe the land has ancient, like, ancestor or something like that. Like maybe Native Americans might have been buried.
Yeah, and they disturbed it.
Or something like ancient, like encrypted or demon-wise.
Yeah, because I couldn't find anything about the land before the general decided to move out there. But, I mean, all this land was once somebody's before ours, so you never know.
Yeah, true. And what I think is weird is how it's room 502 and the area code is 502.
Yes.
That to me is just, it blows my mind and it's wicked.
Yeah, same. Exactly.
So
going back to the movie last night.
So
I just had to say it before I forgot it.
So there's a movie called Death Run or Death Tunnel. The Death Tunnel, right? The Death Tunnel. And before we did this podcast, we thought we would watch the movie, and it features Waverly Hills and some of the stories of it, and pretty much to us, like she read a comment about the movie saying it's no good.
It doesn't do the hospital justice or the ghost stories justice. Both. And it doesn't.
So it doesn't, but it does tell the story a little bit in the line.
But like I was getting at,
in the storyline,
the nurse though that hung herself, right?
Yeah.
In the movie, they have her hanging herself in the stairwell.
Yeah, not in 502.
Has nothing related to it at all.
Yeah, but I mean it's kind of in the storyline. Nurse hung herself, but it's not.
Yeah.
It don't do it justice. I understand.
I feel like if I was to make a movie, right, I would really focus on that 502 room.
Yeah.
And the two desks with 502 because it's the area code. Like it just all connects. I guess it just all goes together.
But it did. See, this movie is where I think also helped cross the tails, because remember the girl that was pregnant, that was the pregnant nurse in this movie. Pretty much, she jumped off the roof to her death, right? Or no, she. I'm not gonna give it up. She didn't. She's not the one that jumped off the roof, but I think the other one acted like she was pregnant and tried to jump off the roof too, right?
Well, yeah, one developed a belly while they were there in the 5 hours. And
either way, I'm gonna say go watch the movie. It's not. To me, it's like a 1990s horror movie. Like it's a cross between Saw, Hostel, and A House of a Thousand Corpses. Almost like that evil guy in House of a Thousand Corpses is like the evil guy one of the evil guys in this movie. And it gives me a 1990s horror film vibe. I actually liked it. Like I give it honestly, if it was a 1 out of 5, I would automatically give it a 3.
I was about to say, you said 3 last night.
I did say 3 last night, but that was because it shows boobs. I'm a big fan of horror films that pretty much shows boobs, because me, that's like the ultimate horror film. It's just like a horror film thing.
It's definitely low budget too.
Yeah, it is. That's the low budget is where I was going to put it, like at a 1. To go watch,
but like, sometimes low budgets
not really
are good.
Watch, but like this was low quality, low budget. Low. Like I feel like I can do better than that. No offense.
Yeah, we're really hating on this movie, but
I give it a 3 because after just watching it and giving time thinking about the movie, I feel like it's a movie you at least should watch once. It's really not about Waverly Hills necessarily, but it does show Waverly a little bit here and there, and it does have a little bit of somewhat of what happened with the nurses at with Waverly Hills in the storyline of the movie, but not so much.
Kinda. Like, they do have the news clips in there, the newspaper clips, but other than that, I feel like they just found clips from that time era and just thrown them in there. Which throws the movie off, kinda, because, I don't know. I think they could have done way better.
She hates the movie. Me, on the other hand, I'm going to give it a 3, and even say I wasn't going to give it a 3, I was going to get a 3 anyway because of boobies. To me, that's the ultimate horror film.
But honestly, the movie didn't make me want to go to Waverly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and I've never been, and I want to go, but that movie didn't make me want to go anymore.
It didn't. But I still want to go.
I could have lived and died without seeing that movie.
I have. Matter of fact, my mom told me today my great aunt used to work there. I think in the laundry. One of the buildings that was not connected to the hospital.
Yeah, I remember your grandma telling me a story one time about her being young and going through there, but she said that she only went through the nursing home part of it.
Yeah, I think at one time it was a nursing home, wasn't it?
Well, it had a nursing home in it.
Oh, during the TB?
Yeah, it had like...
I thought it was after TB. After the TB...
It could have been maybe when it got turned into the asylum. But I didn't read much on the asylum part because we're more talking about the TB.
And after all of that, some dude ended up buying the land before the owners now. Mm-hmm. And so I'm a Christian man, and I have my Christian beliefs. And this guy kind of wanted to be a hole and tear down it all and put a big the biggest Jesus statue in the world up there. Which, I mean, there's other places he could have done that. So he tore down all the buildings that was around Waverly Hills, like the schoolhouse, the old schoolhouse,
the Colonel's house,
the
I don't know how to word that.
Was it the bunkhouse? Right, there's a bunkhouse.
Yeah.
Then there was
a butcher.
You got a butcher house, grocery store, apparently.
Yeah, it was pretty much like its own little town.
Yeah, and then you gotta remember the era. It was in the 1920s till 1960s. 1910 to 1961.
Yeah.
And in that era,
the colors were separated.
Yeah, you had racism bad.
Mm-hmm. So Colored had their own hospital on the hill, and their own colored staff. I'm not sure about doctors. I don't know if colored people were able to even become doctors back then, but I know that they had colored staff.
So, and apparently the colored hospital was more run down, or very run down, and wasn't kept maintained.
For sure.
So,
and that's definitely in the photos.
Yeah, and I know if I ever go up there, I'm gonna try to figure out where their little hospital was and see if I can make contact with them, communication with, if there was any spirits of theirs still there.
Yeah, because the guy literally knocked everything down other than the hospital because they didn't allow him to, because it's it's marked as a historic building.
Yeah, so he tried to condemn the building by drilling holes into the foundation and doing stupid things. Like, he should have just left this alone.
Letting people go up there and vandalize it and bust windows and which, could have also stirred up the spirits. Yeah. Because you're literally destroying.
Most definitely. And then let's talk about paranormal history part of it. So you obviously have the nurses, right? Mm-hmm. And also up there's been satanic rituals performed. There's so many people that I know that's before the owners now. Like when that guy owned it, that was up there, and pretty much, they walked around, partied there, and did what they did, and they experienced so much paranormal activity there, as far as apparitions, doppelgangers,
doppelgangers
people
is a big
doing
one.
the satanic rituals, demonic activity, getting scratched,
Hearing voices, kids laughing. The famous one, the kid plays with the ball.
and then like I was told about somebody seeing like a crawler crawling all over the walls, ceiling, and floors.
Also, another couple ones are a little girl seen on the 3rd floor, the little boy playing with the ball.
A guy that fell down the elevator.
Yeah.
You'll hear like him scream.
Shadow people, so that's probably what you was talking about. Shadow.
The crawler?
Yeah.
No. I mean, it looks like a shadow, kind of like a shadow person or a crawler. But it's totally different.
Also, another one is a hearse.
The homeless man's dog.
You can see an apparition of a hearse driving up and dropping off coffins, which is kind of weird though because they made the chute for the patients not to be able to see that. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Maybe this was during the insane asylum.
Maybe. Slamming doors, obviously. Conversations, disembodied voices. Also, another one is in the kitchen. The smell of bread. Numerous people have smelled fresh bread.
And pretty much the kitchen's unoperational.
Yeah.
You can't cook there no more.
Yeah, you literally can't do nothing.
Yeah. And actually, there's a lot of pictures out there of apparitions. Like a friend of mine, he took a picture of the outside of Waverly, and in one of the windows, he caught a apparition. It looks like of a, to me, it looked like of a pale face, black hair, little girl with black eyes, so like a black-eyed child. But it could have been like a kid or maybe a nurse or some female that was there at one time.
A lot of people have caught that. You can see a lot of photos from the outside, and it's almost the same like type that you're describing.
Yeah, but no, his is like there's definition there,
No,
and you
I know.
can see through it.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of those photos out there.
Yeah, and then they got that photo of an apparition, right? That
In the hallway.
in the hallway of the place,
And yeah, there's a girl.
and they think it's Mary Lee.
Yep. So they catch a full head to toe in a nightgown. Ghost, apparition, whatever you want to call it. And also on the same floor though, they found a photo of a girl that kind of looks like who they caught in the photo, and it's signed Mary Lee. But there's speculation on who exactly Mary Lee is because she's not in any of the records. She was either, what did I say, a nurse?
A nurse.
Or the doctor's daughter that ended up getting TB and died.
Yeah, see this.
But they
this,
don't.
This picture could have ended up there a million different types of ways. So.
But I think they just wanted to give her a name.
Yeah,
I
give
feel
that
like it was
apparition
more,
a name.
Yeah, giving her a name, so they were like Mary Lee.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But that, like I said, like there's a lot of speculation over the photo, and it could have ended up there a million different ways. It could have been a picture from somebody's grandchild, you know what I'm saying, and signed it and sent it to their grandmother.
Yeah.
You know, you never know.
Yeah, they just said that she just looked similar to the girl in the photo. So.
I mean, a lot of people look similar back then.
But a lot of I feel like a lot of people
same.
try to give them names too.
I mean, everybody tries to give something a name to give it more.
More personality, more like.
Yeah, because I mean, when you get even when somebody's saving a dog or an animal that's not named, they give it a name.
Exactly. And the pound does it.
Yeah,
it happens all the time. So I think it was more just to give her a name, and they found a photo with a name and was like, we're gonna name her Mary Lee. But yeah, you can find that photo as soon as you type up Waverly. I mean, honestly, that photo is really popular.
So what's a paranormal experience you would like to talk about that you've had? Let's talk about, since we're going big, pretty much talking about Waverly Hills, and it's being in the top. I'm gonna say it's number one, the most haunted spot in America.
I would say it's definitely
that's-
number one in Kentucky.
That's me being very biased because I live right down the road from it. I got family that work there, family that's possibly patients there.
Yeah. There's 3 Watkins that is on record.
Yeah. So to me, I'm gonna just call it number one. But it's a very well known spot, popular spot.
Connected
It's
to
always
Louisville.
getting booked out. Hard to get reservations for an investigation there. And since we're going top of the line, what is the top of the line biggest paranormal experience you've ever had? It can be by yourself or with me.
Well, I would say the biggest is at Elaine's old house, where I had the notebook thrown at me, but nobody was awake, nobody was around. Like, but how do you explain that? You know what I'm saying?
You can't if it's
No.
like when something falls off.
Yeah, but no, this
to
was thrown.
Yeah,
This was
you can't
thrown
explain
at me.
that. It either had to been a poltergeist spirit or somebody hiding and threw it trying to scare you, which
But I don't-
everybody was asleep.
Exactly.
So, I mean,
It's not like the usual hanging house where you don't have 100 people running
Yeah.
around. There was literally like 4 of us in the house.
yeah,
And it was late at night, and I already had a weird feeling of being watched when I went into the kitchen.
yeah,
I just had a really eerie feeling, like constantly looking over my shoulder, like, you know what I'm saying? And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden the notebook is thrown at me, like, I don't know.
Didn't you see an apparition there one time too? You think it could have been that spirit?
I mean, it could have been. Ever since we moved out there was just this feeling.
And I think that land has a lot of
yeah. And it's
history
hard
or
to
activity.
explain until you go out there, and
History and
then
activity.
literally you can just feel it.
Yeah. So that's while we're shooting the poop about this, that kind of brings something up to mind I want to talk about. Is so everybody's made up of energy. Everything's pretty much energy, and when
Did
you
it die?
the light did.
Yeah.
So another thing is like spirits are made up in energy, and when energies and energies come across each other, you're gonna feel that, right?
Mhm.
So my thing is, to me, everybody can feel energy and feels, what I'm saying, and some people take that overboard and be like, oh, since I feel energy, I'm
Empath.
I'm an empath. So to me, that don't make you an empath. That just makes you a human being because you can feel the energy of one another, of the spirit. It's like when something's wrong with you, I feel that energy.
I feel like it has a lot to do with like auras and like vibes, but
I think an empath can actually also communicate with them, like a medium.
I also think an empath can feel more or less like if it's a child, or like give you more of a detail than just
yeah.
I'm feeling.
Yeah, there's something
Weird.
here, and then like most of the time they want to say it's evil or happy.
No.
Well, if it's evil, what is it? I feel like you should be able to define what kind of evil it is, what it is. If it's demonic, what demon it is, and if it's not, then if it's a child or adult, like you said.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I've been wanting to talk about for decades, to get that off, because there's so many people out there like, oh, I'm empath because I can feel energy.
No, because
that's everybody.
I think that I also believe that there's a difference in that how everybody can feel it, because like when we lived in Vine Grove and we brought the rocks up, like the house was fine, like it wasn't sketchy at all until we brought the rocks up, and then you constantly felt like somebody was watching you, and like I literally had to turn on every light just to walk anywhere. But I wasn't the only one that felt that. I mean, literally everybody in the house felt like that.
That's it. To me, it's things like that is just it's weird. I mean, and I used to claim myself as an empath, but after research and pretty much going, doing investigations.
How was it? She was watching something. She was looking up, following something.
I feel like an empath is just more than feeling the energy of a spirit.
I feel like everybody can feel it.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like there's energy here in this house. You know, I've had personal paranormal experiences here, but I feel like my top of the line of all paranormal experiences, that cemetery on Dixie Highway, which is my first investigation.
Of course, right off the bat too.
Yeah, right off the bat, first investigation. This was a 7-foot figure. I mean, it was a shadow figure, 7 foot. You couldn't see no eyes, all black.
You could just see the outline.
Yeah, you didn't see no eyes, no teeth, nothing. I hollered at it. I didn't hear nothing, but she claimed that she heard a deep, dark voice say something.
Yeah, but I couldn't make out what it said.
Yeah, and I didn't hear him say nothing. I hollered. I said, "Hey, stop coming our way," because I got frightened. I was like, "Oh man, this dude's 7 foot tall."
I was more freaking out because I kept losing it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I kept losing where it was at. Yeah. So I was judging off of your energy. Yeah, and your energy was freaking me out.
Well, you couldn't see that far at the time because of the glasses you had.
No, and I could.
So pretty much I heard some bushes rustle. Then I look over there and I go, "Oh," I think I say, "Oh, shit, babe." Somebody's walking our way.
We also heard the rock on the railroad track, like someone walking on it, and the rocks like moving.
Yeah.
But we didn't see anybody.
Yeah, and then that actually stopped for a second, like a good minute or two. Pretty much, that was at the beginning of the investigation, right? And we was there for a good 30, 45 minutes, and then we hear the brush.
I think we had a good 10 minutes of nothing.
Yeah.
And then we started hearing shit. And we started hearing stuff, and then it was almost like it just got super close to us, to where we could actually start.
So pretty much what happened was I was like, "Oh, shit, babe," there's somebody walking our way. So of course she pans the camera over, but when she pans the camera over, she turns it off and she turns the light off because she don't want to camcorder somebody that don't want to be on camera, and she don't want to be blinding them by this big old light. And I like to film everything, no matter what, for safety and
because of that.
And if I'm investigating something, I want to see if I can capture it. But so pretty much kept walking our way. It was about a football distance away, and I hollered. I was like, "Hey, what do you want? I can help you if you need something." Nothing. And they just kept coming closer. And I was like, "Stop!" And I mean, I was screaming at the top of my lungs, like, "Don't come near us. I can help you. What do you want? Stay right there." And just kept coming. So I told her, I said, "Run to the car." And I made a mistake with her because I should have gave you the keys. I kept the keys on me. And then when she starts
stuff.
Yeah. So when she took off to the car, this is when to me it was no longer a human, because she said she heard it say something dark, demonic. I didn't see, it got from it was probably about, I would say, at 3/4 of a football field out. And when she took off running, and she said she heard a dark, deep voice, couldn't make it out. I didn't hear it. So she started taking off, and they started running. So I wait till she got to the car before I take off to make sure she's in the car, and I lock it. And if it was a person or something, like even an evil spirit, I was going to throw the keys where they'll never find it, or whatnot. But because I wasn't armed at the time, and I feared for my wife's safety, and I had to. And then so I took off because I was like, "Oh crap! I got the keys. If this goes south, then my wife's screwed." And I was like, "No." So I jetted towards the car, dropped my EMF meter and my spirit box, and I swooped it all up besides 3 batteries in the back to my spirit box. And we got in the car, and we drove off to the other side of Dixie
We
Highway.
literally just went across the street.
For like not even 5 minutes. Probably just to gather ourselves, like to make sure we got all of our equipment and stuff. And I'm looking and I'm like, oh crap. The back of my spirit box is over there. And so to mention, let's go back a little bit because I skipped it. So when I took off running, he went from
walking.
This dark figure. It was a shadow figure. Like just keep thinking about it. I wish we caught it on camera. You couldn't see nothing besides nothing but all dark. And he went from 3/4 football field to probably about 20 yards away from me before I taking off running. And I might be fat and out of shape. Oh, actually, then I wasn't out of shape.
No.
But anyways, like you put the fear of God in me, you ain't outrunning me.
And I don't know if it makes sense, but he was like blacker than black.
Yeah, the shadow, like it was darker.
I don't know how to explain it, but it was not a person.
So go in an all black room, no light can leak in, right? Then times that by that black, that darkness by 1,000,000. It was dark at night. The only lights you could see facing towards that way where he was coming from was like Gene Snyder off to the side, their little interstate lights. But where he was at, it was pitch black. You couldn't even see because about that far. Like I'm gonna say about half a football field away. But this figure was so black and dark, you can define it probably 2 football fields away.
Yeah, because on the other
it was
side,
darker than night.
The other side of the railroad track was a neighborhood, and they had like street lights and some house lights were on. So like I feel like if it was somebody, we would have seen him eventually walking down the railroad.
Well, yeah, even when he got 20 feet from me, there were like lights in the cemetery that lit up.
But it was like
different colors for the people put on graves. And there was no light reflection whatsoever. Like me and her, when we was near each other with the camera even off for a second.
You could still make out as a person.
Make not just out as a person, light reflection off of our skin and our clothes,
our eyes. I mean,
yeah. And this figure, nothing, and it was tall, 7 foot. I'm sorry.
I mean,
I don't know. I'm 6'4", 6'5",
and it towered you.
Yeah, it towered me. So it might be taller than 7 foot. But I'm sorry, I don't think there's a 7 foot homeless person. Because I mean, he should be in the NBA if that was a person. But no, there was no way it was a person.
And the more that I think about it, there's no way it was a person. Because we literally wasn't even across the street. Maybe 5 minutes, if that.
Yeah.
And we went back and we panned lights and our headlights around and nothing.
When we came back, nothing. I mean, and
it was quiet. It was so quiet.
So quiet. There was no rocks moving on the railroad tracks, no bushes moving. And before I got out of my car to get back with my spirit box and the 3 batteries that was left there, I rolled down the window a little bit, and she rolled down her window a little bit, and we was listening. And we couldn't hear anything. And then we also when we was driving around, we was panning our headlights everywhere and had a flashlight panning it. We didn't see nothing.
Yeah, 5 minutes of walking, there's no way he would have made it to anywhere that we wouldn't see him.
Yeah.
Just because of the way the cemetery is and where it's at, there's just no way.
No, we would have seen him. If it was a human being, they would have been seen.
But my thing
that was a shadow figure. I'm thinking it was demonic.
Well, so that makes me wonder.
Because how he went from there to 20 yards from me like that when you took off, you had a 20-yard run. He probably had, I'm going to say, a 70-yard. He was within 70 yards, went that 70-yard distance. You probably had about 10 yards to the car. And he was there's no way.
But even then, once we noticed he was there, he was still coming towards us pretty fast.
Yeah, he was
not even
fast.
Walking, not even a normal human walk. He was making strides to get to us.
Well, I didn't see strides. I seen pretty much, I didn't even see movement of arms and legs.
No, yeah. I guess that's kind of what I mean.
You
couldn't tell it was a human walking. It just...
Yeah, no legs, just
Yeah,
you know,
it was
going
just
like this,
yeah.
really fast. It was nuts.
But that makes me wonder because the suicide that happened.
Yeah,
before that,
so the reason why I went to go and investigate this place is because of a guy committed suicide in the back of this cemetery. I don't know what led up to it, but cops chased him back into there, and he ended up taking his own life.
So that makes me wonder, like, was he taken over by something,
or did he, because of just, that tragedy, did it
manifest something? Yeah.
And then the bridge that was right there, a lot of death from homeless people happened there, and it's right near the cemetery.
Talking about the overpass?
Yeah. And then, I mean, there's just...
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things that it could have been.
Yeah. Who knows? To me, there's no way it was a human being.
No,
just the way everything happened and stuff. Plus, if you're homeless, I mean, if somebody's like, hey, what do you want? And I'm going to help you and stop and whatnot. They stop something. And they will say something back to you, you know.
But not only that.
Like, hey, you got a cigarette, or you got water, or can I get some money for food, or, you know, they'll say something.
Something.
And to me, it was just... It was weird.
Definitely.
So that was my biggest paranormal experience so far. And that was my first investigation. And actually, from then, I didn't want to investigate no more.
We didn't for a while.
No, my next investigation was with my buddy Gabe. And I was like, well, me and Gabe and his little brother came along. And I was like, well, me and Gabe and Gage, if we can handle ourselves pretty well. So the next investigation I went on was to Hell's Gate Cemetery. So I pretty much we got a little segment here of a paranormal question. Since this is my first episode, no viewers can't get a paranormal question from someone. So I went online and looked up a popular paranormal question someone would have for a investigator, and it's, how can you communicate with a spirit? And pretty much how you can communicate with a spirit is you can literally just sit down and just talk, you know, and tell them to make, like, say, knock once for yes or twice for no, you know.
Yeah.
Or if you have a phone, you got a recorder on there, use it and see if you can get a electromagnetic voice phenomena, you know, onto it.
I mean, you can literally talk to a spirit.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And then say, like, you wanted a device, an ITC device, you can go out or go online. I mean, you can go out. There's some stores that have it, like Walmart. It's online. I don't know if they sell in stores. They might in some Walmart stores, but not the stores here near us. But you can go online, buy spirit boxes like SB7. It's cheap. An S box is cheap. An S box.
I always think cheap. You say Xbox.
Yeah, so does my oldest brother Dougie. Dowsing rods.
Something else.
There's dowsing rods you can get for like $20. EMF meters. You know, I think the lowest one I've seen was $20. There's just so many devices out there that you can get to help you communicate with them. And, you know, since I answered that paranormal question, and back to our paranormal experience. So, was that your first paranormal experience? What happened at your aunt's house? What got you into the paranormal? Was it me?
I think I've always been slightly interested. I mean, I think it goes as far back as when I was a baby and my mom's aunt could talk to ghosts. And
everybody has a family member that can do that.
And she was staying in my nursery, and she was literally like talking to a ghost and helping them move on or whatever. And
So she was a
I think
psychic medium.
Yeah, and Mom said that I was awake the whole time that this was happening.
Yeah.
So I think a part of me has always...
I wish I could do that.
Has always been, like, intrigued by it and open to it.
Yeah, I wish I had that gift.
But no. Vine Grove would have been my first, like, feeling...
With the rocks?
Yeah, but we never actually seen anything.
Yeah, I didn't think of the timeline correctly there.
Yeah, Vine Grove would have been first with the rocks. But my first actually, like, having something thrown at me or, like, something actually, like, triggering, hey, there's something's here.
Something beyond living, yeah.
Yeah. Because at the Vine Grove house, it was just, like, a feeling the whole time. Like, I don't think that we've ever actually seen anything.
Yeah, so what got me into it was when I was little, being scared left and right from my older brothers from stories that they made up and, folklore. I ain't gonna lie, I had to have a nightlight when I was a little kid.
The train one terrified me.
That terrified me too. My brother's always that. We had a train tracks right there. You can see it off our front porch.
The train.
But
that's crazy that we have that same story though.
I feel like that's just an old folklore legend.
Because we're around the same age. Our
parents,
siblings are around the same age, so I feel like...
But I also feel like parents made that up to keep their kids to come in early.
Off the train tracks.
Or to get them off train tracks. Just, to keep their kids in line. But, I'd even sleep halfway in my room and halfway out in the hallway. I mean, I was terrified of anything paranormal. I couldn't even watch scary movies. And then I hit 13, I would say 12, 13. And I felt like I was the biggest SOB alive, Sorry, Mom, you're not a B word. But I felt like I was a bad mamma jamma. And, plus I felt like, I got God on my side. What is a little pesky little demon or devil going to do to me, And I watched a couple horror movies. Sorry, babe. It was kind of to impress a girl. And
of course it was.
They got scared and everything was happening in the movies. I was just jaw dropped, excited over it. I was amazed by all this. And it just intrigued me more. And I, especially after I found out that these had legitimate storylines, they actually were based off of something real that happened in real life, like Chucky, Robert the Doll. You had, Annabelle just kind of got popular here recently. Chucky was first, but now Annabelle, and that was from a Raggedy Ann doll that they named Annabelle. Then you got Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There's so many out there. Mm-hmm. And then from there on, I ain't gonna say researched or studied, but I found if I heard of a story, I went and read about it, and if there was an articles, and then not just that, when I was probably 8, 9, maybe younger, my aunt came picked us up, and I thought I was gonna be brave then, and went to Waverly Hills to go through the haunted house, and I backed out. I stayed in the car with my aunt. There was no way I was going because somebody in line felt somebody tug them from behind and nobody was behind them. So I was like, no, I'm staying in the car. And plus all the stories I've heard and, just the place of Waverly Hills is just intrigues me. Just the paranormal intrigues me, especially I'm already a Christian and I already believe there's life after death. But what really intrigues me is, life after death, still in this world, if they didn't make it to heaven, or why are they still here, if they want help, so on and so forth. And that a lot of people that paranormal investigate or don't even paranormal investigate have so many different reasonings on it, and I think it's just simple. I felt like they either wanted to stay or something. I feel like it could be all of them reasons, really, not just one simple reason. I feel like it's It's every reason that they or somebody has came up with. I feel like it could be any of them reasons. It's just not one specific one.
I don't think it's unsettled business. I mean, part of it.
I mean, yeah, maybe one spirit might be an unsettled
business for all of them.
But I feel like every spirit that's like human spirit that gets stuck here is not is each single one's got their different reason. Mm-hmm. You know, like tell you the truth, I do want to go to heaven. If you know, I'm not gonna say if it's real. I 100% believe in heaven and hell. Too many stories of people dying and coming back and telling stories about heaven or hell. But, you know, if I die before you, I want to stay on this earth until, you know, you pass on so we can ascend into heaven together, you know? Because I don't want to leave your side.
I think that's...
like, our vows are death do us part, but even in death, I don't want to be apart.
I'm stuck with you. Same to you too, though. For sure. And I'm going to try to find every way to connect. So,
and our paranormal question kind of lead into the next little segment, which is a paranormal equipment. So, I already do equipment videos, and this paranormal equipment we're going to be talking about is an S-Box. Go check it out. I'm going to link it up above. Okay. Click on it, and you can...
Put her over here.
And you can, you know, see how it works and what it is about. So an S-Box is a spirit box that you can... ITC device that you can help you communicate with the dead or, you know, entities and spirits. And if pretty much... You know, you turn it on, you get it scanned through its frequencies, and the spirit or entity can manipulate the frequencies and the sound waves and everything for it to speak through it and what it wants to come out of it.
Me and the S-Box have a love-hate relationship, though. Because if I recognize the song, then I can automatically recognize what it says.
That's radio bleed out.
Yeah.
That's not... That stuff like that is not paranormal.
So it's
that's not a spirit coming through. No.
It's just the radio.
Yeah, that's the radio bleeding through. And see, that's one thing about the S-Box. You do have radio bleed out in it, come through, but you know when it's radio bleed out. You know, you hear a song, or you hear a talk show host talking, or you hear, you know, the radio DJ talking, you know, you can cipher out what's radio bleed through in.
My favorite's the SLS.
Yeah.
That's definitely my favorite.
Yeah. I need to do an equipment video on that.
Yes.
So I can put it on our next podcast.
Because that's definitely my favorite.
Haunted Doll of the Week. And I already said her name. Annabelle.
I've only done really recent.
So, Annabelle, how Annabelle came about into this world, apparently was a student nurse received her in 1970.
But where'd she receive her from?
That,
is that unknown?
Far as I know, that's unknown. I couldn't find that out. I found several stories, but they were all different stories, so to me it's unknown.
Yeah.
So the doll started behaving strangely, you know, moving, being somewhere different as they would put Annabelle.
It's kind of like ours.
So, yeah, we have a doll that does that. So the student called a medium, and the medium thought that, you know, it's just a doll of a little girl that passed on, and her name was Annabelle. So happened it wasn't.
Was no good for nothing.
Well, here's the thing though, demons like to act like little kids and little girls to try to become your friend, so they can get closer to you to possess you.
That's usually how it goes. Yeah.
And you know, after the medium, you know, they was like, I'm gonna start nurturing it and caring for it and treating it like it's little girl, you know. And guess what happened? They pretty much got it closer to them and let it in, and things got worse from there. So they called up the Warrens, and Ed and Lorraine Warren. They called them up, and they came out, and they declared it to be a demonic attachment to this doll.
Which, were they mediums, or were they just collectors?
She was a medium. He was an investigator.
Gotcha.
And they collected
anything haunted.
Well, not just haunted, like with evil past with it or history, you know. So pretty much, since Annabelle was demonic and whatnot, they took it back to their, people say their occult room. I would say they're pretty much, there's little, well, not just collectives, like their little safe room, because, you know, they contained it into that room and into Annabelle into a glass case with hieroglyphs and sayings on it.
I still would
to keep
have been
it
freaked
contained.
out.
I would be like,
I don't know. I honestly don't know if I would have been able to stay in that house or not, though. Even though they were contained, but
and I mean they had a priest always come over and bless the items in the house.
But if it's anything like the movie, then you have some dumb kid that comes in there and messes everything up.
Yeah.
And releases it all.
But that's why you're smarter than the kid. You lock it up and you keep the key 24/7 and no extra keys.
Error on their parts.
Yeah. And now it's a museum.
I want to go.
That's one place I do want to go and check out. And Annabelle is reportedly has taken a human life. As far as that story goes, I'm pretty sure, I didn't really do much research on this. I've heard it once, and I can't for sure tell you
I'm making you yawn now.
the history of that. I'm pretty sure you can probably find a Ed and Lorraine Warren documentary of them sitting down talking about it. I actually love watching or listening to them talk. You know, even though R.I.P. But you know, the videos of them talking and explaining things. There's actually a guy now that worked with them and interviewed them and whatnot. I think he's the one that took over the museum.
Are they both dead?
I'm pretty sure of it.
Didn't they have a kid though?
I know Ed is. I think they did have a daughter.
I think I'm getting them mixed up.
Well, I think they did have a kid.
So you would think they would have went to the kid.
But
the kid didn't want to do it.
Well, I don't know if this dude owns it or if he just runs it, but he takes care of it as far as what I'm told.
Shit, if I was the kid, I would want it.
So Annabelle remains in that case till today. I know there was a supposed scare of Annabelle leaving the case like not too long ago.
But she's in fact still there.
She stayed. Yeah, it was. I forgot how that rumor started.
It was probably just some person.
And like I was excited when they said that. I was like, yes, yes. Where'd she run off to? You know. But then I was like, who's she gonna kill next? No, I was more like, you know, I was turning my wheels. I was like, Zach Bagans. It's got to be going to his museum. You know, that's another museum I want to go see. But then it came out. It was still there. It was all rumored.
Where's the museum at?
I'm not for sure. I would have to
do more research on it.
Yeah, I'll pop it up about the museum where it's located. I want to say Pennsylvania, but I could be completely wrong.
Yeah, and I don't know how true the movie is to actual facts.
Yeah.
You know, Because a lot of stuff I feel is
Well,
fabricated.
everything gets fabricated when it's
Exactly.
Hollywood.
So,
When you put Hollywood in the mix,
exactly.
things get stretched out.
Watch, they probably didn't even have a kid, or...
Yeah. You
never know.
things get twisted and whatnot.
Well,
And I think that's also what helps stories of haunted places get twisted. So if you really want to know the history of the place, go to the place, talk to the people that own it or run it, and they'll give you the more legitimate stories of it. Do your research in the history of the place. Instead of going to go to people's article and read what they got to say.
Yeah,
but then go research what they're saying. Make sure it's right.
Going back to Waverly, though, because we keep going back to it, I really wish they would have turned it into a hotel.
Well, ain't that what they're trying to do over time? Is turn it into a hotel?
Yeah, but that was...
People that own it now?
That was rumored, back in 2009.
Well, yeah, but you know how much money that's going to cost them to do that?
Oh, I know. But, true, because the people that own it now are, the last name's Mattingly, I think. All the profits of the tours and the haunted stuff goes straight back into it.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that...
They had to... I think it said they had to replace, 1,000 windows when... from all of them getting busted out and stuff. And
I'm pretty sure they don't have all the windows replaced, do they?
not all of them, no.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to replace it all.
I think they've been working on it floor by floor slowly. Because the haunted house is only on floor 1, and the tours, I don't even think the tours go all 5 floors. I'm not 100% though.
I'm not 100% on that either. No, I don't know.
But still, when it gets turned into a hotel, we're for sure checking it.
I'm working there. I'm a sign I will work there for the rest of my life. I don't care if I'm a millionaire. I'm gonna put an application in to work there.
When it becomes a hotel,
I should put an application in there to work now.
Yeah.
I love the history of this place. Not the
not the sadness.
The sadness of it, just
but it is intriguing.
The history from it becoming a little schoolhouse for a kid, to how it's got its name, to it becoming a hospital to help out patients with TB, to all the way what it is now.
Yeah.
Because
the fact that the general was like, hey, you can use my land to build this hospital, and your research, that says a lot about him.
Yeah. And I know there's suicides that happen there, and
it is sad.
If you are someone that has suicidal thoughts, please contact someone. Call a suicidal hotline. Call your doctor, see if they got medication that might be able to help you out.
But I also believe what's so intriguing too is, I think Waverly would make a skeptic into a believer.
No doubt. I've never heard of anybody going there and not getting activity.
Something from it, yeah. For sure.
And
even in the haunted houses, even though the haunted houses are supposed to be scary, there's things that happen to people where it's whoa.
And that's another thing about skeptics. It's a coincidence. To me, there's no coincidences.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe in coincidence. I believe everything happens for a reason.
For sure.
So let's talk about this week's Nuke's Top 5.
Top 5 ghosts caught on camera.
5 scary. She's on my notes.
5 scary ghost videos that'll make you throw your phone. So, number 5.
You're okay. I just moved my paper.
So number 5, it's about a closet in the basement. I'm gonna roll the clip, and I'm gonna roll it after after we talk about this clip. So the closet door opens. Somebody could fake that, but it's this lady's house, and it was her friend that was down there when the closet door opened and she took off up steps, you know, and then her and her friend was just playing. I think one was playing the Guitar Hero drums, and then they pan and there was an apparition that pretty much formed itself in that shot.
Yeah,
of a pale white,
and it wasn't like they were ghost hunting or whatever.
Yeah.
They was literally making a funny video for their friend.
Yeah, to send to their friend.
Yeah, and then
a pale old white pale lady just formed into.
Because I feel like if they
shot.
were faking it, no matter how much of an actor you are, like I feel like you would still acknowledge, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you would.
Like they didn't even acknowledge that anything happened.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
And they wasn't even trying to get the closet in the shot, so like.
So that was number 5.
You can just tell, yeah.
Hiding in the closet, in the basement closet.
So normally when I come home from work, my dog Bella will come running to the door to greet me or whatever, and I just came home and she didn't do that, and it ends up she's down here in the basement.
Videotaping?
Yeah, it's for Stan.
I won't break them.
The drums. So you might have some competition when you get back. We love you. We'll see you soon.
That was number 5 on his list, wasn't it?
Yeah. So obviously it just rode. Now number 4. So 4.
Oh, he's knocked.
So there used to be a guava orchard, and bodies were found there. And now a house sits onto this land, right? And pretty much at first with this clip, I was like, you know, the guy that was investigating it, thinking, making everybody put their phones on the bed and whatnot, thinking they might be trying to pull a trick on him. I too was like, oh, this is fake, you know, all that noise, people probably hitting the wall. Then that guy threw his hand up.
Well, in the voice, he said it could have been someone a recording.
Yeah, I didn't hear the
why.
voice and stuff because when I watched it, I couldn't turn the TV all the way up, and I didn't want to turn the TV all the way up because there's usually it'd be a low, you know, voice, and then a real loud noise
I hate that.
following it sometimes, and I don't want to blow the speakers out of the TV. But and this was now get this. This was a live investigation.
Yep.
And they captured a apparition through the window on the door, and it looked like of a young pale girl, and it was the viewers on the live stream that was like, hey, there was something in the window, and it took them a minute before they seen it in chat, and
then they went and looked and nothing was there.
Nothing was there. And this was a live video.
Now, did you talk about they found 2 bodies?
In the guava orchard, yeah.
Okay.
And then the house is now there.
Okay.
That was number 4.
Names. Years ago, the property the house sits on was a guava orchard. When land developers dug up the orchard, they were shocked to find the unexplained remains of 2 bodies buried in the orchard fields. One of the bodies was that of a young girl. A house was later built on this land, and
Tlacuache, gracias por tu apoyo. Nos quedamos en silencio.
there's no one there.
So now number 3. Number 3 was pretty much 3 toddlers reacting. I think they were triplets too, wasn't they?
Yep, they were triplets.
Was reacting to something you couldn't see on camera, and they were pretty much sassy pantsing it.
Yeah, they were sassy.
And it was kind of cute.
It was cute, for sure.
And
but they was definitely talking to something. And they was pointing at the same exact thing, talking to the same spot.
Yeah. And then one of them woke up in a frantic and crying and screaming.
Talking about a monster on the wall. Mm-hmm.
And pointed to the same spot.
Yep.
And, you know, the mom shared this video onto online of this experience. And
now with me, I feel like kids definitely.
yeah, I believe this. So number 5, I believe. Number 4, I believe. Number 3, I definitely believe because of little kids. You know, like you was about to say, we feel like little kids actually can see and interact with
Just with like animals, yeah.
something beyond this world. Yeah,
I definitely believe
that we
that.
can't see.
I definitely believe that. Because, I mean, and it goes back to everybody in the family has a psychic or a medium. But also, I feel like every family has a story of a kid talking to a ghost.
Yeah,
Like I do.
yeah.
You know?
Like,
Bradley used to sit in the hallway and talk to somebody for hours.
yeah, and I feel like every little kid's, you know, little imaginary friend possibly is a human spirit.
Going back to Jessica, when we first moved to the property, she used to sit in the woods and talk to somebody forever.
Yeah. So that was number 3. I think it was real.
I have no reason to
Reactions.
doubt it.
Yeah, the reactions of them toddlers.
Yeah. Because why would, as a mom, why would you sit there and coach the kids to do that?
And then not just that, like, put that out there
Exactly.
like that.
Like, it's just,
Like, a lot of people, and this lady, nothing on her, I think this was off of TikTok, right?
yeah.
And
Oh, yeah, nothing on her page was
nothing on
paranormal
her
related.
TikTok was paranormal related. And I think that was just really all the paranormal coincidences
Yeah.
was that. And, you know,
I wonder if she's caught anything since. We'll have to go.
well, I'm hoping that she called a priest and got it out of there.
Yeah, because if they're saying monster,
Yeah, it's probably something
then
that's...
it wasn't something nice at all.
Yeah.
Monster on the wall.
All right, on to number 2. So number 2, straight up off the bat, 100% I think is fake
Yep.
from the get-go.
Yep,
I
a
mean,
lot of people do too.
Yeah, in the comments, the channel's name.
The channel's name is Other Studio.
Yeah, and pretty much, so it went like, in this clip, I mean, what was it, the smoke detector going off, then the fridge, so first of all, the smoke detectors go off when low battery and whatnot, when they
I
malfunction.
feel like those can easily be manipulated. Yes.
And they can be easily manipulated, like smoking, like you can smoke and it'll go off, and some smoke won't show up on camera. Then it went from the fridge. When he opened the fridge, the light flickered and went off. Our fridge looked just exactly like his, and ours does that time and time again.
Yeah.
Then it went from that to the light in the bathroom flickering and the faucet on with water running.
Which I feel like the flickering could also be how cameras and lights match up together. On the camera, it looks like it's flickering, but it's really not. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, but that's not, a light don't do that. Like a light bulb. So you're talking about like a computer or a TV, because how it pretty much projects its image onto the TV and whatnot. It's not like a light. A light's consistent. A light bulb's consistent, where those are, you know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
So
The light in the faucet was on.
yeah, the light was flickering, and plus, like the way you were saying, you would see light flickering now on our camera.
I mean, I see it on the TV flickering, but...
Well, that's the TV. So then it went from that to a door moving. That could have been a draft.
we don't know what was on the
Or
other side of that door. It could have been the
either,
outside
yeah.
door.
You know, and then
And the door was definitely crooked.
then he walks out, comes back in. All the cabinets are open.
The chairs flipped over.
What happened in between that? You know,
Mm-hmm.
and then say if there was a video of him walking out and being on the video, then going back in, no cuts. He could have had a friend in there that opened all them
That's
cabinets.
what I was getting ready to say.
And then when he came back in, all them cabinets, and then you see a weird face in the corner of that doorway that you have to zoom in on to look and see.
and there was cuts going to each.
Yeah, but I think
thing
Nuke,
that was
Nuke
happening.
does that to,
Oh.
you know, trim it up.
True.
But let's just say untrimmed, this could have been faked so easy. I don't believe it.
Another factor, it's the only video that they ever posted.
Yeah. and-
Why not follow up on that? Or why not make more paranormal videos? Like, it just doesn't... Because they had, like, 3-point-something
Yeah.
million views on it.
Yeah,
Like,
and
why would you not...
If they would start up a paranormal page on that right now, they'd probably get hits left and right.
And not only that, but
on
in the
their
comments
videos.
on that video, other studios comments and says that the page is for comedy,
Yeah, that
comedy
studio.
skits, and
Comment that.
and music.
Yeah.
They commented that under their
And
video.
and that they're not looking to make paranormal.
Yeah, but even after that, they never posted any comedy skits.
No.
They never
And-
posted
And if
any...
you wasn't trying to make paranormal stuff, then why'd you post the paranormal video on that?
Exactly. Like, just everything,
Just
to
seems
me,
fake.
screams fake.
All right,
Maybe
now
it's not, but we think it's fake. That's our opinion.
faker than a $3 bill, boy.
Like, I can't even
Fake.
believe it ended up on Nukes, honestly.
Fake, exactly. But you know, he gives them the chance.
I know.
Like, I wouldn't give it a chance if I think it's faker than a $3 bill. Sorry, Nuke's got a bigger heart than me.
Yeah, because that video just screams fake. I'm sorry.
Faker.
We could do that right now.
Yeah,
Like, literally. Okay.
fake.
At a glance.
Nope.
But most terrifying of all, a face can be seen staring at Cody from the top right corner of a doorway. Cody is shocked when he reviews his footage.
So now
Fake.
number one. So number one, it was a police raid in a foreign country.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say the foreign country because I think I might get it wrong. They'll say it in the clip. And pretty much the first thing you see is a door violently slamming back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And these, I don't even know if they're police officers.
Yeah, because
if
they're
it's
not
a raid.
in uniform,
They're
but...
not really in uniform. You
But they
can't.
could be
I
undercover.
didn't see anything that said policia, but I could have missed it. They pretty much ran in, past the door, and then ran back out of it. And I mean, this, I don't know. It could have been fake, but the way it was violently doing it,
Yeah.
and then like they ran past it, and the way like their reaction to it, then they run back out, and then they hear like a glass or a noise right behind them, and they just take off.
Yeah.
And then when they go around the corner, they see the face, but you spotted it out. It looked like a girl was crouching down like this,
Like that, and then it
went-
manifests behind...
and then went and turned like that.
Yeah,
And the face went like was like a disembodied face, and it was like very closer, you know.
It was like 1 minute she was in the middle of the room,
Yeah.
and then once she realized you spotted her, she jumped like, I don't know,
like
glitched.
I'm not
like I don't
not jump,
appeared-
but like traveled through space time.
because you don't actually see her move. She's literally in the middle of the room.
She teleported.
She's literally in the middle of the room, and the next minute she's like peering behind like a wall or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was.
And
Just
the face was disembodied.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't a normal female like human face. It
Yeah.
was like disembodied.
It definitely wasn't. Even when she was hunkered down, like it just nothing about it was human. I don't know. That's just my opinion, but
Yeah, I feel like number one is real. Plus, you gotta think with these third world countries like this particular one, there's a lot of history. You know, bad history. Yeah, the country has good history, but that bad history in that location probably could you know, conjured something up, and then not just that. You know, I see that a lot of these countries that have pretty much bad history and so on and so forth, you know, they get a lot of activity, and they get a lot of things caught on camera that you can't disprove at all.
yeah, you really it's impossible to debunk almost.
I mean, some of them you can.
Yeah,
Or
I'm not saying all
you
of
could be
them
like,
aren't.
"Hey, that could be fake this way."
But there's still a lot of them out there
Like,
that
yeah.
are like, holy.
Like one of them I seen, there was a pretty much this big concrete, like pretty much it's taller than me, and I could lay down in it, and it came tilting over and like towards the guy investigating, and the thing is heavy. Like, this couldn't have been lifted by humans, or you would have seen them, and it couldn't be no strings because you would have seen them.
Yeah, back to the door too. Like, it could have been manipulated, but the way it was swinging and the way that they were able to walk
Past it, yeah.
with no problem.
With no problem. The strings that was making it do that would
There's
have
no
broke.
way.
And then the force of it slamming back and forth and really fast like it did,
Yeah,
you would have seen tape and strings, and they would have broke.
yeah. But that just makes me wonder, like, why would the door be doing that? A little kid just sitting there, you know what I'm saying?
That, or,
Playing with the door.
you know, a poltergeist trying to scare.
True.
Yeah.
I don't know. But even, yeah, the girl.
I mean, it was people with guns that were in there, and they called it a raid, but you didn't see anything saying policia or police.
No, but.
But, you know, I mean, for all we know, it could have been drug dealers coming to get their money from somebody.
That little girl in the room's gonna get them.
Yeah.
Because she's scary.
Raid Shadow Ledge. Scratch that. The Raid.
Cuidado, mano. Que é isso, mano? Mano, não tem nada. Caralho, mano. Que é isso, bicho? Caralho, mano. Mano, que é isso, bicho? Caralho, mano. Bora, mano. Deus me livre, mano. Vai, mano. Vai, mano. Vai, mano. Vai, mano. Vai, mano.
Did you see it? As the men run and the cameraman waits for the others to catch up, a horrifying face appears to quickly pop up from the edge of a door frame before disappearing back inside. But is it real? Or is it all just a very elaborate hoax?
Alright, so pretty much that's Nuke's top 5 from his 5 to his 1. So we're going to go over the list, and we're going to pick what we think should have been 5, what should have been 4, what should have been 3, 2, and 1.
How we would have numbered it.
Yeah. So straight off the bat, number 5 would have been that fake.
Other studio.
Yeah, we like what we thought could possibly faked, and I mean, to me, everything that happened in that video is like
So easy to fake.
not just so easy. It's so unoriginal. You know, like you go to look at somebody's paranormal video that got all this evidence. It was just unoriginal. Cabinets open.
Yeah.
You know, a light flickering.
Yeah.
You see a face, a weird face in the corner, and that's all you see. Like, and it looks weird. Like, they bought the mask or made it or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Then that little door, poof. I mean, I can pull up a video if I still have it of a door doing something similar to that. It was pretty much a draft.
Yeah, I feel like your average Joe could have done that video.
Yeah, it was so original. Number 5, right off the bat. So what we had as number 4 was the 3 little kids reacting to it, what we couldn't see. You know, the reason why it's number 4 is because I couldn't see nothing. It was just little kids' reactions.
It was also hard to see something because the camera itself goes down.
Yeah.
You literally can't, like, you can see what they're pointing at, but you can't see.
Yeah. And so that's number 4. It was just pretty much you was witnessing an experience that you couldn't see.
That
paranormal experience you couldn't see.
There's better videos.
Yeah. And
that are in the same category.
So number 3 to us is what he put as number 5. And that was the basement. The reason why I put that as number 3 is because you literally see, if you slow it down, you literally see that apparition
form right in front of your eyes.
Yeah, into that shot, you know. Mm-hmm. And then it's an apparition. Like to me, you got an apparition on camera, that should be your top ones, you know.
Yep.
Like, to me, that's your biggest. That's what everybody tries to capture, you know.
Yeah, and they didn't even know they caught it.
Exactly. So number 2 was the guava orchard with the bodies that were found there when they was digging up.
I mean, it was on live.
There's no.
They didn't acknowledge it either until
people in chat.
Comments, yeah.
Yeah, and then they investigate. Nothing was in there. Mm-hmm. And it was on live, so that gave it more of credibility than 3 did.
Yeah.
What we picked 3, so that's why I got the number 2 spot.
Yeah.
And then number 1, we kept number 1 the way it was, is because, I mean, you seen an apparition, and it went from like doing this to like that, and like kind of teleport it within like feet really quick, and it into a disembodied.
Yeah. Even without the door segment on that video.
Yeah, that was creepy.
The girl by itself, yeah.
Like, you would have seen something attached to that. People pulling it back and forth, slamming it.
And I feel like they wouldn't have been able to walk through it like they did.
Yeah, that, and I feel like if the strings were taped onto
There's just
it,
no
it
way.
broke.
Yeah. Because it's swinging way too hard, way too fast, and just, yeah.
Yeah.
Without the door itself, the girl makes it, but for sure both.
Yeah. I mean, really, I couldn't pick between 1, 2, and 3. Like, I feel like those all should have been number 1 videos.
I guess.
I would say if you have a video, send it in and send it to Nuke's Top 5.
Yeah.
Don't send it to me. Send it to Nuke's Top 5. I like watching Nuke's Top 5. Also, if I'm correct, that fake video, I think I just seen it up on Chills.
What?
Of the fake video.
Oh.
What we put as 5.
On Chills? Well,
Yeah.
I'll watch that.
So, pretty much our we're in this podcast with talking about our last investigation to the investigation we're about to put out this Thursday, and technically you wasn't at either of these investigations.
I wasn't, so I can't have a say so.
And the last investigation, I think, was the other haunted doll, right?
The clown, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it came out. I'm gonna just give you bits and pieces of it. Go watch the video. Link it up above. So pretty much, this doll moves around our house. You know, if we don't have it in a container. And then even one time it moved out of the container because it moved to a baseball that we took out of the container. And then we leave. Nobody knows we had this doll, right? This clown doll. And I don't think we put it up. I think we set it in one specific location. We didn't put it in a container.
No, not at first.
And I don't think it was out in the open either. So if somebody did see it, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
It was over here.
Was it?
Yeah,
No, when we found it, it was up there. No, but I think we put it over there behind something on the shelf.
I don't know. We moved it different places.
Yeah, but we pretty much set it in a certain location, and then it appears up in the ceiling when we come back home. That was just wicked. It moving pretty much by itself, and the activity I got from it in this investigation, pretty much, communicated with the spirit box and got some nice things through the spirit box with it.
Is this the one you also did the SOS one?
No, that's the next investigation.
Oh. That's the other clown.
Yeah. So, and the clown, found out its name was Lacey. I did a live with it on Facebook. No, we're good. They want to see the doll, they can check it out. I'll leave the link up above. And then, got pretty much good evidence with this, so go check that out. So our next investigation... Chain
Sorry.
effect. So our next investigation is a haunted doll. So I promise you, all my stuff is not going to be haunted doll investigations. Matter of fact, the next investigation I'm going to put out is hopefully if somebody's home. Me investigating that and seeing what's there and what it is. But this Thursday investigation is of this haunted doll. The name of it is Paul. I actually got great evidence with it through EVP, voice recorder, through using the dowsing rods, spirit box, 2 different spirit boxes I used, 2 different sessions and got good stuff. Then I did another investigator created, which was a Clover effect. I used that, or Clover method. I don't know why I keep calling it effect. It's a Clover method, Epic Paranormal. Eric, go check him out. He's a good investigator, great investigator. I got that from him, and this I got evidence using that method. I do it my own way, which is kind of similar to his, but a little bit different. I got evidence off that too, and then I used the SLS camera and I caught stick figures on the doll. Like Paul is attached to that doll, and you got the figure laying out on the table with the doll.
It doesn't look like a Paul.
I mean, I would think the clown would be Paul.
I think so. And
then this doll would be Lacey.
Yeah.
But it's totally
opposite.
But also, they both could be playing tricks. Spirit.
That was weird.
Spirit just passed through you. But also, here's the thing: they could be playing tricks on me because they both were there during both of these investigations.
Yeah, and they both get locked in the container together.
Well, yeah, they get locked in the container together. But when I'm doing the investigation, only one comes out, the other one stays in. But do not miss this Thursday's investigation. I get pretty much phenomenal evidence. I even get. I'll show you a clip at the end of the video. I can't. It's not on my big camera because I had my big camera off. It was on my smaller camera. Pretty much went to go use the bathroom, come back, and I turned that off, and then I pack everything up, come home, put all the footage on my computer, and I'm siphoning through the footage, and I catch like a shadow go across the screen. It's on it. But here's the thing, was it a bug? Could it have been me? Which I don't think it was me, because you would have known. You would have seen, plus the camera would have went like that and whatnot, and you would have heard me. You don't hear nothing. Let's see. I don't know if it could have been paranormal, could have been a shadow. Who knows? But I'm not going to call it paranormal because I can't debunk it and I can't undebunk it. You know what I'm saying? I can't.
Yeah. Can't do neither.
Can't do neither. Also, the teaser for this investigation is going to be at the end of this. This is Geeked Up Paranormal, podcast, Geeked Up Paranormal Podcast. I'm Brandon.
Brianna.
R.I.P.s. R.I.P.s.
Why?
Why not? This is going on right now. Good job. This doll, yes. Is this doll haunted? Yep.